Hello, everyone. Give me a few minutes to get set up. I have also put up my YouTube page on my iPad just so I can see how you guys are seeing it. I'm not certain. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to work. Well, at least I can see on my computer, but I can't see on my iPad. I was hoping that I could see it more. Okay, are you ready to play with some dark cardstock? You know, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of it, and it's like I'm always looking for ways to use it. So I have a couple of ideas. Two use colored pencils, and one uses a gold wink of Stella that we had years ago that you probably have in your stash. So I'm going to share that with you. I've got all my supplies here so I can tell you before I start what I'm using. I wished I could get it up on my iPad. I don't even know how to see live things on here. I may have to play with that. I've watched lives, but usually it's in the, see, I see that one is, that person is live, but I don't see it on my iPad. Oh, well, I've got it. We'll see. And if any of you are watching, say hello, tell me where you're from, but let's get started because I've got a lot to cover. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera down and then I'll switch to the camera view. Oh my gosh, it's upside down again. So I have to flip it around. I don't know why it's doing that. All right. And I'm going to have to move things over. So let me spotlight my phone. Well, I got to go over some more and up some. I have my neighbor who's he's on travel right now, but when he comes back, we're going to work on lowering this some. This is as low as I can get it without messing up what he's done. So here's what we have. For today's card, I'm using Petal Park, and I'm specifically using the open image of the leaves and the flowers. I am using, like I said, my gold wink of Stella. And then I pulled out colored pencils. Oh, and I had these all in order. Oh, darn. All right, so what I did was I swatched them also. I know it goes this way and then this way. There we go. I got it. I wanted to swatch them, and you'll see when I use them why. I have there. So I don't know why my phone, it does that when I go live on Zoom. It doesn't do it on Facebook. But what I did was I had two Stampin' Up! Watercolor pencils, and one is Pacific Point and one is an old one, but it's like a navy. All right. But I wanted more colors than just that. So I went looking, and I have some other watercolor pencils, and I had 3 different colors there. And I have this one, and this one. So they're in varying degrees of darkness, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to put those over there in order so I can see. I will need a white pencil, and I have no idea where my white pencil is that was supposed to be in here. I looked everywhere, so I pulled out the white one from my other set. I used a Bossing Buddy Whisper White pigment ink and gold pigment ink, and then I used white and gold embossing powder. So the first thing I did was I stamped my image and my leaves, and it's 2 separate stamps. So this one I stamped the flowers first and then the leaves. I think it's better if you stamp the leaves. No, this one I stamped the leaves first, then the flowers. I think it's better if you stamp the flowers and then the leaves. So I have this, and it's embossed. It's white and it's embossed. And one of the ways you can color on colored cardstock, now this is not dark, but it is a color, is to take and create a whitewash look. And all I'm doing is coloring inside the lines with my white pen, and I am leaving, I should say pencil because it's a watercolor pencil. I am leaving the center of these leaves open because I want some contrast there. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to color the rest of this. And I'll try and hurry. And I'm not using a heavy hand. I am doing it very light. If you want it darker, you can, but you know, you have to think about the dramatic effect you're looking for. I am not going to do the center because that will leave some of the, this is crumb cake that I'm using, some crumb cake on your, for some interest in your, on your image. All right, and I think this is just a really pretty look. This would make, this technique would be gorgeous for a wedding card. So, all right, I'm going to continue to color and I will try and hurry. I try to go where in between the embossing, not just scribble over top. I don't want to mess up the embossing, and if you play with that embossing too much, it will. So I'm going to quickly color the rest of this, and I'm going to do all of the card fronts, and then I'll put them together. I should have colored some of these ahead of time, but I didn't think of that. It doesn't take long. All right, now this one is tricky because, see, as you can see, my my image is off some. So that's why I think if you stamp the flower first and then add the leaves, just kind of practice on scrap paper to see, because see, it's not matching up there. It should have been up a little bit. And I think it's easier if you stamp the image. Of course, it doesn't help that I'm using light ink on a light background. When you emboss this, before you emboss it, make sure you go over your whole card with your embossing buddy, because that way your embossing powder will not stick where you don't want it. And after you get this done, if you want it darker in certain areas, you can go back over it. I do have my pencil sharpener here. Let's see if I do this one, if I go over it more, just to show you. how it makes the image pop more. Okay, I think I'll do the flowers again, just so that they're a little bit brighter. Okay. You guys have some fun plans for the weekend? I don't have any plans. I'm going to be working on some commitments I have to do. I have a blog hop I have to get designed for, and my card for our tutorial bundle. Okay, so there you can see that one is done. And isn't it pretty? I'll hold it a little closer. It's just such a pretty technique. All right, but suppose you want something a little bit different. And I didn't bring over any green markers, so I'll grab them. Hopefully I have enough in my container here. And get this one done. All right, and this one's going to be a little bit different because maybe you want to add some color. So what you do is you do the same procedure that you did on the others. You stamp it with white pigment ink, then you emboss it, and then you color the whole thing in with white. All right, and I'm not coloring it dark. I think I'm going to leave some of these plain, like this one, just to give it a little bit of different interest. And that's the beauty of this. You can play around and not color. I'm not going to color that one or that one. And if I get done and I don't like it, I can color it after I'm done, before I post the final cards. And I will link to the blog post that I will use for next week with this in there. All right, so there's what I have. Now I want to color my flowers blue. So I'm going to start with my darkest flower, or my darkest color, and I'm going to do the center and out slightly on all of my flowers. This is a great way to use your supplies. I'm always looking for ways to show you. Oh, I missed that flower totally. Can't do that. I'll have to sharpen my pencil soon too. This works really well if your pencil is sharp. Mine here is not. So before I use it, I will sharpen it. I brought over my sharpener. So, all right, now I'm going to do these. And I'm not being real particular about it. I'm just coloring all the way around. I am not coloring the center. I think it adds interest if you don't. All right, but if you decide you want the center colored like a yellow, then just color it white first. All right, so I've got that. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to move down to this one, which is Pacific Point, and I'm going to color it next. And I'm going to go down into my dark one to kind of blend the two together. You don't want definite lines. So if you blend it down into it, and I'm just coloring it over top, it blends the two together like so. I mean, you can get really fancy with this. You can do the stripes in it to give it some variation. That might be easier if you use a larger. I need to go up a little bit on these. Larger image. All right, now let's go over to this one and color it in. And I'm going to go down into my dark one to blend them together. You see more of a variation there. I don't know if it's because my pencil has white on it, so I'll scribble it off. It might have it. All right, now I'm going to go over to the little one. And you can do this same technique with your leaves. I might do one to show you. All right, and then I'm going to go with my lightest one, which was that one. Okay. I'm going to use the same pencil. I wanted a third one. I should have used that one and then that one. Let's see, this is this. Let me see what happens if I go over top of it. Oh, it does it. It darkens it some. So I'll just go over it real quick. I won't worry about blending it because it has kind of blended. But just so you can see. All right. The little flower is the challenge because it's tiny. All right, and then this one. I kind of lost my dark one in here. I may go back before I post it and do some dark in there. All right, now I'll use my light one on the end. And I'm going down into the other one. This can be really dramatic if your images are larger. It might show up better on that big one. But I thought it was a fun way to color an image. Let's see. Okay. And I'm not pressing very hard because I want some of that white. It's just going to kind of soften the white. Like so. One more. There. All right, now let me see. And naturally, I have no greens here. So there's what this one looks like. Let me pull it up a little closer. I really like that look. If it's too dark, you can go over it with a white pencil again to lighten it some. So I will do some green before I post this one. All right, so that's two. Now this one is the one, this is black, and I embossed it in gold. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to color it. I'm going to color it very lightly with the gold on the tips only. I'm not doing down into the flower. This one is, you know, okay. Just take your time, but see, well, it comes back. I try not to color over like the center piece so that I can still see it. All right, let's do the big one. And then I'm not going to do any more on this because I want this one. This is a great anniversary card, wedding card also. And I want to be able to see some of the details on the leaves. So I won't do that one. This one goes much faster than the coloring. All right, so there, you know what? Let me do this. I'll do the center. You cannot press hard with this. It has a very soft tip. So just kind of pull it over and take your time. There. Now I'm going to give that a few minutes because I want it to dry. I'm going to go back to my first one. All right. And I'm mounting everything on a white card base. I did pull in some ribbons and some gems. And this one I'm going to put on this way. Now, if you want more of a white border, cut it down. I didn't, I left it at this. I am going to use some baker's twine on this before I attach it to make a bow. So I'm going to take my baker's twine, give myself a tail, and I'm going to wrap it around several times. And I'm trying not to, oops, I think I need one more. I can pull them all together when I'm done. All right, like so. And then I'm going to cut this. I didn't need to, but I think it'll be easier for me to tie. And well, I have a mess here. It's right over left. And I will tie a knot. So I'm going to pull it that way. I'm going to tie a knot because it'll be easier to make the bow. All right. And I'll show you a little tip. If you get your loops too tight. Now, I pulled my string north to south. Now I'm going to make my loop with the bottom one. And I'm going to pull my bow. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. I lost my top one. All right. Take the bottom one, make your loop, pull the top one over, and pull your bow right to left, east to west. So it's up and down, east to west. All right, now, this one is out of order, so I'm going to adjust it. See, this is the beauty of this. All right. And when I get them where I want, this one is loose. So take a piece of your tear and tape, your double-sided tape, and pull it tight. All right. Now I want it to spread just a little. Pull it tight and put your tape over top. Then do the same thing on this side, and it will keep your threads on the front taut, like so. Just make sure you have them where you want them before you put that tape on it. But see how this one is now tight. It's crooked there, but it is tight. And then this we're going to put right on our card. I am not taking that off. I don't want to run the risk of it slipping. So I'm just going to use my glue up and down the threads. And there we go. And now it needs some pearls. You can cut this. I like long loops, so I probably won't cut it. I think I'm going to, where are my, we have the classic matte dots, but I was looking for, and I don't see them in here, those are the flat back adhesive pearls. Not what I wanted. I wanted my iridescent pearls, but maybe I don't have them. So I'm going to use these. This, those look more vanilla, so I'm not going to use those. All right, let me get my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to use, as you can see, I hardly ever use my white. So I'm going to add some, oops, it didn't come off and now it's stuck in the putty. And it's stuck to me. Where's my pokey tool? My trusty pokey tool. There, fix my putty up. And then I'm going to add 2 more down at the bottom. And there's our first card. That's a simple and easy way to color an image. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this one. All right. I'll pull them all back in. All right. Here's the second one we did, and I really, really like this one. I am going to put it on my card base, and I will go back and do the green. I must have pulled, I think all of my green ones are in my bin for my class tomorrow because we're using colored pencils tomorrow. All right, so I pulled in, and this may be retired, but this is the metallic edge cotton ribbon. I didn't use this as much as I had hoped before it retired, so I'm going to use it now. I love using my retired supplies. We all have them. I love getting rid of them because then I can buy new stuff. Although sometimes some of the stuff that we're losing is some of my favorite. Now I'm going to pull this over here. I'm going to stick it down. All right. And then I'm going to come back with my double-sided tape and put it on top because I want to make sure that ribbon stays sandwiched on my card. And by adding the pieces on the top and the bottom, you sandwich that ribbon between your tape. This one, I will take off the backs because I want this piece to stick down on my card base. So I will add some glue, and I do need to, all right, this one goes on. Yep, make sure my card opens the right way. I put this one on at an angle and made it a portrait, a landscape card. All right, so there's that. I will make my bow and add my bow so that I can have that done. And if I need, now I'm going to add, and I don't think I have them in here either. Darn, I wanted rhinestones. All right, which side is better? This one. I like the looks of the bow. I always interview my bows and choose the side that I think looks the best. All right, don't come off on my finger. And I'm going to put one in the middle on this because these are tiny. And then I'm going to take my backs off. Well, that one came off with the backing. There it is. I guess it doesn't want to stick. They're all coming off. Make sure you press down hard if you're using this cotton ribbon. It doesn't like to stick to the cotton for some reason. I've never had that happen. There they are. All right, I'm going to add my bow to the top. And like I said, my rhinestones are all downstairs. Bummer. So I will add rhinestones to this one before I post it. All right, and here's the last one. And I went with another landscape card. And I did use white on this. If you want, what you can take and do is take a piece of gold, and I can't find it. It's on the bottom of my pile. So let me see if I can grab a piece real quick. Naturally, it's all the way on the bottom. I reorganized everything and made it nice and neat, and the gold ended up on the bottom. Let me get it. I think I have one open though. I want to use. Here it is. I'm going to cut both of these down because I want the gold foil behind it on the white. I think that will be very classy looking. So let me pull out my paper trimmer. And let's see. I'm going to cut this at 4. All right, I can put that down there by 5 1/4. All right, and then I'll cut this down to 5. All right, and I do have a little bit more here by 3 3/4. So I'll do it that way. All right, now I do not want to put this on here and waste all this gold foil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this at, I think I'm going to use 3/4 of an inch. Whoops, wrong one. Whew, almost messed that up. 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to come down no, you know what? I can do a 1/2 inch. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to go down to a 1/2 inch before the edge, flip it around, set it at 1/2 inch, and go from the top a 1/2 inch down to a 1/2 inch before the end, and just work my way all the way around. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting out the center. So I'm not wasting the center of this. There's no sense wasting this center. Now you may need to use your snips. I just gently pull it and it comes out. You have this piece you can use for something else. Then this is going to go on here like so. And I'm going to use, I tested my gold to see, I'm going to use some glue dots to attach it, because I can keep those close to the edge and I don't have to worry, oops, stuck to my finger, about the glue oozing out, because glue and gold foil do not mix well at all. All right, so let me finish up. Then I have to take all these off. Oops, it wants to stick to my finger. All right, let me get these off. And I have found my pokey tool doesn't work for taking these off. I use my fingernails, which isn't good. I shouldn't be using them. But sometimes you don't have a choice. I struggle with my fingernails. I have all my life. I've been going for a manicure every 2 weeks and they have really improved. But there's certain things I do that I shouldn't, like picking at things, all of that. All right, I'm going to put this on like so. All right, and then for this one, I again pulled out some retired ribbon and I'm going to cut it. And then I just love deconstructing this ribbon. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting it up the middle, like so. And it doesn't have to be the exact middle, as close as you can get it. And then I take and I pull out these threads. Now, you can save those threads if you want. I don't. I get rid of them. Saving them, you'd have these threads everywhere. But if you want to, you can. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Pull out some of the threads. It's really easy from it. And then I'm going to put that on my card using double-sided tape again. Let me flip this over. I'm going to add here, here. All right. Now I can take this off. And I'm going to put this together so that the fringe is on the outside. So I'm going to put this piece here, wrap it around, make sure I've got it on straight. And then this piece, I'm going to put the fringe on the outside also. So what I'm doing is I'm butting it up against the other one and then folding it to the back to hold it in place. And I'm going to add some tape on the top of it because I don't want it to move. And then I can add it to my card base. All right. And I'm going to take the backs off so that it's really sandwiched in. Now I will do a bow and I will deconstruct my ribbon also. All right, let me put my pen back in my glue bottle. All right. Now, which way does my card open? Don't want to put this on upside down. All right. So I'm going to put this on like so. Now, if you want exact placement, use a MISTI stamping tool, whatever you have. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to do my bow and I'm going to loosely tie my bow before I start. And I give myself a little extra. And then I'm going to cut this one in half also. But this time I'm going to hold the two together and tie it and then fray it. So I'm just taking and cutting it in half. And again, it doesn't have to be exactly in half. I sometimes find it's easier if you hold the bottom and the top between your two fingers where you're cutting until you get to the end, especially in the middle. And as you can see, mine's not perfectly even, but that's okay. Now I'm going to put the two pieces together and I'm not worried about where the edges are. I'm just going to put them on top of each other and try to hold them together as much as I can. Usually if I get that first loop made, then I can pull the two other pieces over because you are going to separate it. You just want to make sure when you do this, you grab both pieces. All right. I've got one, the top one's a little bit. Now, before you pull it tight, make sure you have it even, and then I'm going to pull it out like so. All right, and I'm going to trim my ends. And then because I like the fuzziness, I'm going to take and I'm going to pull out again my ends on them. And I'm only pulling a few this time. It will naturally do it just with using it and all. See, this side is a lot wider than the other one. That's okay. So I pull it out. I'll only pull out one or two on this side. And then you can do the same thing with your bow up here. I love the fact that this ribbon unravels this way. I'm always looking at my ribbon and seeing what happens when you deconstruct it, because it's so much fun and it adds some interest to your card. All right, see, look at all those wispy pieces. This is going to go on there. And again, I'm going to use my glue dots. And I will pull in all my cards so you can see each of them. And next week, when I post this, stuck to my finger, I'll come back and add the link because I'm going to post it on my blog. You know what? I don't have anything to post tomorrow. I'll post it tomorrow. All right. Now we need some gems. And where are, that's champagne, but it looks gold. Oh, what is this one? This is gold. No, I don't like that. Too big. The perfect thing for this is the, and they're downstairs too. It's my gold festive pearls. They would be very pretty on it. So let me pull in all the pieces so you can kind of get an idea of what I did. And this was card one, and this card is totally finished. This is card two. It's going to get rhinestones added. And this is card three, and it will get the gold festive pearls. Now, if you like my video, give me a thumbs up. I hope you're subscribed so you don't miss any of my ideas. I go live every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time, so lunchtime. And I show you some interesting ways to use your products, some new products, all of that. Make sure you leave me a comment below and let me know, do you like card one, card two, or card three the best? All right, let me get ready and I will remove the spotlight and I'll switch back to my face. I need to spotlight my face before I flip this up, because if not, you'll be dizzy. All right, so there you go. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with me. I hope I've inspired you to pull out your supplies. And I would love for you to give my idea a try with what you have and share it with me. I love seeing them. Have a great afternoon. And if you're free, I am live on Facebook on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Bye.